Just waiting for them to arrive. They're making their way. It's interesting in this, this way I experience what I share in this work that I do. It's like trying to combine two worlds that have been separated for a very long time. And so as the dragons are arriving, I'm going to share just a little bit about what this experience is for me in them entering into my field for me to then share with you. And they're almost like these long trains, and it kind of is like a little bit of this train-like energy, because dragons are all about movement, like navigating and moving. And so it's like these, when they come to me, and I receive certain bits of these realms, and others receive other bits. And so there's so much complexity, and like so much of it is true. And what I'm going to be able to translate and share is only a small fraction of what the dragons really have to teach us and to share with us. So just keep that in mind, because you may experience them in a different way. But they're coming in these like train-like kind of feeling energies and patterns, these like long and kind of movement forward ways, and almost along these tracks. And the dragons do, they move along the grid lines of the earth, keeping them cleared out, and also having the ability to provide this transformative quality within the earth, within these passageways of the earth that are the ley lines, the grid lines. And so it's almost as if it's along these like train tracks that are laid out on the earth, although it's a little bit more, it's not quite as, I'm hearing like straight and narrow, but it's like these train track patterns of the dragons moving. It's like transporting. They transport energies. The dragons want you to know that they transport energies throughout the inner earth. And these are the dragons that we're connecting with right now, are these inner earth dragons. And so they have come, they're arrived. There's 7 of them here with me right now, and they're kind of all facing me in this way. And they have their very dragon-like features of their head, which we have come to know in like storybooks and movies. And a lot of this is from true mythology and memories that us humans have, memories that are real. They're actually real memories that become our stories and our cinema. And then their long bodies, very long, they can stretch their bodies out as much as they want, because they have this way about them. They do live, right now, purely in the realms that don't have the physical density to them. And so they can shift and change and transmute and become longer and shorter. And they move more in these forward lines and some spinning. And so let's see what they have to share. They're having to push pretty hard to break through. They're having to push hard to break through, put in a lot of effort to break through, to become a presence again in our world. And this does feel hard for them. It does feel hard because there's a lot of resistance, and so it is requiring a lot of their strength to be able to push through. It's literally like breaking down these walls, and I'm seeing it as the ley lines through the earth that I was mentioning before, how they become built up with so much pollution in a lot of different ways. We could just say, especially the trash. So that makes complete sense. All the landfills and the trash that has been blocking, sinking down further into the earth and just polluting the earth, this waste. And this is, similar to, the dragons want us to know it's similar to what's going on in our own bodies, in the arteries. The ley lines are very similar to the arteries, the blood flow, as well as the nervous system. And so this, quite literal trash, waste buildup is blocking to make it hard for them to be able to push through, break through these barriers. And so they're saying that they do need help with that. And, this is a co-creation. Like, we are here, we matter to the human beings. We have a role to play that is going to be helpful in this earth cleanup. Yes, we have caused a lot of the waste, a lot of the pollution. I mean, all of it. Well, not necessarily. There's been outside influences that really were the initial spawns of that. But then implanting it into humanity for us to believe that we are the cause of the earth's destruction, when really we actually are not. And the more we can get over that, get through that belief, put that to the side and be like, no, that's not true, we can become the solution. And so this becoming the solution to the problems that have been created due to the high levels of waste and trash and other forms of pollution. But what the dragons today are bringing through is this concept of the trash literally blocking the ley lines of the earth. And for us to just keep that in our thoughts, in our prayers, in our knowing, so that the solutions can begin to manifest. And so it requires this believing in our innate, I'm hearing tenderness and care for the earth that is within pretty much all of us. It might be covered up with a bunch of stuff, a bunch of trash, our inner trash. And that's what a lot of the healing work that anybody does, even with like talk therapy and talking through things, any kind of detoxes, even if it's just for the physical body, energy healing, it's sorting out and clearing out the trash, the waste that is blocking us. And this is what we'll have to do on the earth as well. And this is the thing about magic, that magic does exist. Magic is what lies in the unseen, what can't be seen. But magic isn't just an automatic solution with no learning or growing or evolving to happen. It's like the difference between magical thinking and magic. Magical thinking is like, oh, one day the trash is just going to disappear and go away. That's magical thinking. Where when you tap into the realms of magic, you interact, you become engaged, and you interact with the problem to find a solution, but you just are sensing and feeling into and seeing from your third eye, other dimensions, and also that there's more possibility and more solutions. And then there can be progress, decisions made, solutions found, because you're seeing a broader amount of information that's available to find the solution. That's what magic is being able to see beyond just the physical, see all the subtle energies, maybe not all, but see at least, more and more of the subtle energies that are available to us, to learn how to work with and manipulate these. Manipulate's not always a bad word. Manipulate in a way of, working with, molding, and, being able to establish ourselves in an engaging way in the energetic, unseen realm. This is what magic is what the dragons want to remind us of today, that, believing in magic, awakening to magic, isn't the magical thinking that everything's just gonna be great and wonderful and all the problems are gonna go away. It's that we're able to interact with a greater amount of information of what's actually happening, going on, what's available to us, the resources, like energy resources. So this has a lot to do too with, with the trash I was talking about, becoming aware of solutions, of working with like free energy and like the just natural, innate, infinite sources of energy, whether it's like the sun, the inner earth vortex of energy that's available within ourselves, even this resourced infinite flow of energy, to be able to break down or create things out of the trash. And so coming up with new technologies and solutions that are actually assisting in the cleaning up and creating a sustainable earth environment. So that's what they want to leave us with. And that reminder of what they were sharing, that it is really hard for them to break through those barriers. And so the more we can spend time contemplating these solutions of cleaning up the earth, and it can even start within you, because that is a very valid place to start, cleaning up the trash within you. And that sounds kind of like not a good thing, but really what it is just kind of like taking out the trash. It's just something that that is a part of our reality today, is that we create trash and we got to take it out and deal with it. And it's, if we can come from that more neutral place of just like, yeah, we got to take the trash out, or like inner trash out. And of course, because of like all the internet, social media, like seeing everything, like if you watch the news, television, maybe people who aren't as aware and are, interacting with you in a way that is not as pleasant and more of, you could say, like a toxic way. It's just a kind of a like neutral, like acceptance of like, yeah, we got to take out our trash. But then we have to deal with our trash too. We don't just dump it. And so we can start there. We can start there of just knowing that we also have to take out our inner trash, but we need to actually do something with it too, not just dump it. It needs to be almost like broken down and built into something that is useful and useful to yourself, the earth. And so we get creative in that way. And that's like when you are going into like old traumas or wounds, and you unearth it, you bring it to the surface so that you're aware of the pattern, you're aware of like why you're maybe doing a certain habit or behavior, because you have accessed the initial trauma or hurt that happened. And then it's like, what do you do with that? You dissolve it, you break it apart to kind of understand that it's all a part of this reality and existence, and the person that hurt you maybe didn't even like mean to, they were just going through all this. You kind of like dissolve it in that way where you can see it from a different perspective, and then you can work with that raw energy to build it into something new. So you're like, okay, I learned this lesson from that. Now, how can I implement that, engage? It's all about this engaging in life, engaging in the progression forward and the co-creation of the earth. So how can I put that together into something that can be useful to myself and others, whether it's creating a new habit or pattern or helping others to, or even just like being able to be compassionate and empathetic to someone else who's going through a similar thing, because you have found like the gems. Okay, so the trash can become the gems. All right, that's the biggest message the dragons want to leave. The trash can become the gems, and the dragons can move easily through the gems, through the the crystalline matrix of the earth, because that's their design. They are a part of this crystalline matrix of the earth, and keeping it alive and vibrant and actually connected to the cosmic crystalline energies. But that's a whole nother conversation. So the more we can transform our trash into gems, the more these like dragon energies, and this is beyond just the dragons, but like ourselves too, this like creative force can break through, or be able to move through and not be stuck at a barrier, at a blockage. So transforming our trash into gems. And I'm excited to see what technologies arrive in the future where we maybe are like literally transforming our trash into gems through certain technologies that are developed and discovered. Okay, that's it. Let's say thank you to the dragons, and they're gonna hang out with me for a little while. But that's it for this video. Love y'all.